had a chance to start messing with my AC unit again. Try to do a real world test here. Alright, so as you can see, I got my thing in there. It is better than my old setup was. 6 o'clock the next morning. Oh, guys. Hey guys, Dustin with Cassidy's Adventures here. How are you guys doing today? I'm not doing too bad myself. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a camping video this weekend. It's too dadgum hot, and I just had some things going on today and couldn't get around to doing it. Life happens. But I have had a chance to start messing with my AC unit again, and I've come up with some ideas. Well, I come up with an idea that I've been messing with, and I'm headed to finalize some things with it now, and hopefully we're going to get to test it out today. And I even brought my thermometer, so hopefully we can get some actual readings of what's happening if I decide that it's going to work. But stay tuned here just a minute, and I'll let you guys see what's going on with it. Thanks. Alright, are you guys curious about what I got going on with this homemade AC unit? Well, let me tell you my idea now. Here's what I got going on. I don't know, I'll put a little picture up here if you guys don't remember the piping that I did have in here, but this is the only piping I've got now. And it is going to go just like this. Come over here to my parents' house to see if I can't scavenge up something to fasten this up. But it's going to go just like this. And my little fan that I've got, same fan still, is going to sit here instead of in here. What I had going on before, I believe, is that when I would put the fan in here like this, for some reason it would choke the fan way down and the air would just barely come out. But for some reason, you put it over here where it's not choked down in this rubber, turn it on, well, there we go. You get a lot more air movement. Even with the pipe in here like this. Whoops, clumsy today. Even with the pipe in there, I get plenty of air movement. I checked it with my elbow on there that I can make it directional. I get plenty of air movement. When I get it all put together, I'll try to put something in front of it to show you the air movement. And then, you've probably already seen it when I open the lid. I've got this coil system made up that will slide in this pipe. I've got me a water pump and 20 foot of this clear 3/8 tubing. Hopefully, I found the leak in my cooler, and I'm gonna fix that while I'm over here too. So hopefully I can have just enough water in the bottom of the cooler to run this pump and pump the water through all this tubing and use this kind of like a homemade condenser slid up in this pipe. And I'm hoping that any condensation that builds up in it when it's up in there will just kind of build up and run back out into here and kind of recirculate, because that's what this pump does. It's a recirculating pump. Because the way it was before, I don't know if you remember, my hope with the way it was piped before is that it wouldn't have any humidity blowing back out into the camper. But this thing, that pipe system that I had, it condensed so bad it was crazy. It just puddled with water in the bottom from the condensation. So that didn't work out anyway. But enough about that. I'm going to see if I can gather up some stuff to get this all fastened up. If I can find everything, I'm going to fasten this all up, show you what it looks like all together, seal up some of these holes, go get some ice and test this thing out. Alright, we have devised a hillbilly plan. Here we go. I'm going to do is set this in here like this. Drill me a couple of holes here and up here through and zip tie it. And then I'm going to utilize the holes over here that I have already, I think, and zip tie it up over here, and that should work. It's just a test anyway. I've got some strapping and stuff that I could use eventually if this works out nice, so I can do it more permanent. I can put some pipe strap around it and some through bolts to go all the way through, because I would do it now, but all I have is some short screws, and this plastic really isn't all that tough. So we're going to do it this way. Check it out. Watch this. It would help, or it would be a little easier with longer zip ties, but I'm having to work with what I have here, people. So you guys think? You guys think this is going to work? Well, that ought to work for that, guys. Trim off the access here in a minute. Still stick my elbow on there and get the direction. Cool. Oh, let you guys see this real quick. I got this 3/8 tubing from Menards, and I actually used a fire extinguisher of all things and wrapped this around it to get this coil shape. And then I got this 3/8 tubing in the same place. So the plan is I'm going to stick me a hose clamp on here, even though I can barely pull it off by hand. I'm going to stick a hose clamp on there anyway, just for safety measures, make sure that don't come off, and then slide that up in the pipe like so, and hopefully with this 20 foot, it may just be way too much. I don't know, it may just be way too much pipe laying in there. I might have to cut it off, but hopefully with that much pipe in there, I've tested the pump and everything, it'll push the water through everything, so that's not an issue. Hopefully with that much pipe laying in there and that ice cold water running through this, hopefully it'll work. I tested it somewhat in my house. I had my pump in a bowl with some ice packs and water, and it actually did feel like cooler air coming out just with that little bit. So I'm thinking this is going to work, guys. Another thing I think that I have decided with this setup, if it does indeed work, which I think it will, but anyway, if it does indeed work, I think I've got my leak fixed now. Hopefully, if I don't have it fixed, I think that I can get me like a 1 gallon container and drill a couple of holes through the lid and set my pump in there and just run a hose off of this back down into the bucket, for the return, and then I can just put like ice bottles, you know, frozen in there, and run the hose all through the bottles and still get my ice cold water that way and won't have any leaks. So as long as this thing will blow out cold air, even if the cooler leaks, I think I can make this work. There we go. Got my return line pointing straight down. Got my coil all the way up in there. Yeah. Coil goes up to about here, so that's quite a bit of air flowing across those hopefully ice cold metal tubes. Should work. Let me bring you guys in a little closer to show you. Okay, so here's the finished product. You can see I've got the cord to my pump run out the air hole there, because that's just the fastest way for me to do it for now. And my jackery will run the pump. It seems to not draw very many watts, so it should run the pump for a long time. And then that's the great thing about this little fan here is just, I mean, this or my drone batteries, just any USB power bank will run that little fan for a long time. And here is the inside. Oh, excuse me there. You can see my clear tubing I've got there. This is a pretty good sized cooler, so it's kind of hard to tell in the video, but that is quite a bit of pipe laying down there. Well, I mean, it's 20 foot worth. Here's my little pump. It's just a cheap Harbor Freight pump, but this is just an experiment, so there's that. And then here's my, you can't see in there very good, but yeah, there we go. There's my coil set up. My water goes in down there and exits here. It will drop down in the cooler. Just reading some comments on some other ones that I'd seen made. I seen that it was better for the cold water to go in down there, so you have the coldest water at the end, at the exit down there. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what we tried. But yeah, there it is, folks. I'm gonna go. I've got that right there was my leak. I found I done a lousy job caulking it. That's pretty much all there is to it, but I believe I've got her all sealed up now. We're gonna go get some ice and dump some water in the bottom of this thing and give it a test. Like I said, I've got my thermometer and stuff with me, so hopefully we can get a temperature where it's coming out of the pipe. Stay tuned. Alright, there it is, all iced up, folks. For this go around, I've actually got me a little bucket in here with some water in it. At least I hope I still got water in there. I don't think it spilled out. I'm going to put the pump down in it and probably put some of this ice in it. I got entirely more ice than I was planning on getting, but let's get this thing set up, give her a test. Okay, folks, we're going to try to do a real world test here. Got my Subaru shut off, got the air conditioning shut off. This is my setup this go around. I've got that bucket full of water, and I've tested it. I don't know if you can see it there, but my discharge pipe water lands right back in the bucket, so it is going to recirculate the ice cold water. And I felt the copper pipe in there. It feels like it's going to be cold, but I'm going to turn this back on for just a few minutes. Let the water circulate and try to get good and ice cold, and then we're going to get some baseline readings on the thermostats and see what happens. A little stream coming down is my discharge water flowing back into the bucket. That little pump's pretty quiet. Alrighty, folks, for my baseline test, I've got my home thermometer with me. Actually, I'm gonna set this, I don't know, I'll probably just set this down here in the seat somewhere. As you can see right now, it is 93. I don't know, they're a little bit off. They're side by side. One says 90, one says 93. But the orange number is supposed to be the interior temperature, which will be this thing. And then the green number is going to be the exterior temperature. And we're going to do the best I can to take this thing, slide it in that pipe right there, and hopefully it don't fall in. Turn the fan on and just let it run for a while. Let's go ahead and do that. You can see it's 5:05 p.m. Saturday, so I'm going to slide that thing in that pipe, turn my fan on because it's not even on yet, and see if we can't get some numbers for y'all. I don't really know how long to let it run, but we'll find out. Alright, so as you can see, I got my thing in there, got my fan on, got this thing pointed towards the front of the car. I got this thing sitting down here in my seat. See, it's just 506 now. But again, that green number is that thing. That's the outside temp. So we're gonna let this thing sit for a while in a real world situation. Just say I was, just pulled up here in this spot to camp. But we're gonna let it run for a little while, see if it cools off inside there in my driver's seat, see how cold it's blowing out of that pipe. Y'all, I should really invest in one of those infrared thermometers, where you can just squeeze the trigger and it points the laser and tells you the temperature. I forgot how long it takes that stupid thermometer to adjust to the temperature. Like when I got it, it took probably, I don't know, 10 minutes just to come up to the temperature that was in my house. Oh well, do what we can with what we got. Decided to get in here with it and let this cool air blow on my head. I can tell you already that it is better than my old setup was. Well, alright folks, I've been sitting here for about an hour letting this thing run and do its thing. It's not been too bad. Let me flip you around here and show you the thermometer and whatnot. I actually ended up adjusting that thing. I had the sensor end of it sticking outside the pipe in the warm air. It wasn't making much difference, but I actually turned the sensor around in the pipe where the cold air's hitting it. Made quite a bit of difference in the temperature. If you guys remember, it started off about 93 in here, and the thing that's in the pipe said 90. And right now it's 6:01 and we are at 90 degrees in here, and we've got 60-degree air blowing out. That is a 30-degree difference in air blowing out. I'd say that's probably not too bad considering it's in the 90s in this car, and that everything in this car was steaming hot, so it's having to cool off everything in the car. I don't know, I'd say in my camper wouldn't be too bad. Having that 30-degree cooler air blowing on my head may do even better in my camper. I don't know, what do you guys think? It just dropped down to 59. Like I said before, that thing takes a while to drop in temperature, so it may even be colder than that, but I've been here just sitting here in this car for about an hour, so that's long enough. Yeah. Okay folks, what do you think of my 2.0 version of my AC? Let me know in the comments down below what you think I could do different with that. I know I could probably check the hoses out and stuff and see how the water flow looked a little slow in there. That may be good, that may be bad. The pump is adjustable, so I might be able to adjust the water flow, or also I might have a kink or a flat spot in that line with as wadded up as it was on the bottom. I don't know, I need to check it out a little closer. I was kind of in a hurry to get it tested out, but yeah, let's see. Well, we'll do it this way. Yeah, still setting at 59 degrees coming out of the pipe right now, so that's not too bad, I don't think. 30 degrees coming out, that'll feel nice in that camper, or even in this thing, or my rooftop tent, any of the above. I could do that same setup in a little smaller cooler pretty easy, but it just won't hold as much ice. Anyway, that's enough talk about that, guys. Let me know what you think about my new setup in this cooler. Thanks for watching. Alrighty folks, I decided to add to this real world test. It's about, I don't know, 10:30 at night. Just got home and I'm like, you know what, let's go ahead and throw this cooler in the camper and see if it cools it off by morning. It's about, I just had the wife check, I got the thermostat thing in here, it says it's 82. I just turned my setup on and I am just going to let it run all night. It's supposed to be in the mid to low 70s tonight for a low, so just gonna let this thing run all night. See if it will run all night. We are on, let me look, can't see it with the phone. We are on 87% on the Jackery. We've got the fan and the pump running off the Jackery right now, so we will see if it will indeed run all night. And I'll keep an eye on the temperature as I'm awake through the night, see if it cools off in here any. I've got my thermostat thing sitting here about where I would be laying if I were sleeping, so wish us luck. Let's see what it's like in the morning. Well, good morning, folks. It's about 6 o'clock the next morning. The phone says it's about 74 degrees out here. And I read the thermometer inside to see what it said it's supposed to be in my camper for this test that I'm doing. And well, I'm just going to open the door and feel in there and see if it feels anywhere close to what that thermometer says. So, let's do this. Alright, here we go. The fan is still running. I hear my water. Oh, guys. Oh, man. I am here to tell you, folks. Boosh. We are still at 63% on that, so that didn't use up too much juice overnight. Huh. Okay, folks, according to my thermometer inside, it says it is 61 degrees in here. And it's about 74 outside. I had my thermometer thing laying right here where I would be overnight. It feels fantastic in here. So I'm going to say that this new AC setup that I come up with, I'm going to say it is a big win. It probably wouldn't cool it off in the heat of the day when it's 95 outside. But after the sun goes down, shut the doors up, turn this thing on, I'm going to have a blanket on by morning, it seems like. Anyway, alright folks, if you watched this long, thank you so much for watching. Check out my other videos, like and subscribe. Yeah. Thanks.